Today's story carries both deep emotion and relief, a moment Israel and the world have been waiting for. After days of tension, heartbreak, and negotiation, freed Israeli hostages have finally arrived at the Reim military base. Stay tuned as we walk through every emotional minute of this powerful homecoming. Before we dive in, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you never miss a story that matters. 0030-130. The moment of arrival. As the sun began to set over southern Israel, military helicopters touched down at the Reim base, a sight that has become both a symbol of sorrow and resilience since the October attacks. One by one, freed hostages stepped out, wrapped in blankets, their faces weary but filled with hope. Soldiers saluted. Medics stood by. Families waited just behind the barriers, holding their breath. This wasn't just a military event. It was a national heartbeat returning to life. 1:30-30. Scenes of reunion. Moments later, the air filled with tears, shouts, and embraces. Parents ran to their children. Spouses collapsed into each other's arms. Some just stood still, crying quietly, overwhelmed by the reality that freedom was no longer a dream. The Israel Defense Forces confirmed that each freed individual was being taken for immediate medical evaluation, but emotionally, the healing had already begun. 2:30-3:30. The emotional symbolism of Reim Base. The Reim Base, not far from the Gaza border, was one of the first places attacked last year. Now it stands as the first stop for those returning from captivity. It's poetic. The same ground that witnessed tragedy is now witnessing return, resilience, and renewal. Every embrace here told a story of survival, faith, and unimaginable endurance. 2:30-4:30. Government and military response. Prime Minister and defense officials arrived soon after. They spoke briefly with the hostages and their families, thanking them for their courage and assuring the nation that efforts continue for those still missing. The Israeli Defense Forces and Shin Bet coordinated the safe transfer, working with international mediators to make this release possible. It was, in every sense, a moment of triumph, wrapped in caution and continued hope. 4:30-5. The hostages' journey home reports say the hostages were released through a complex humanitarian arrangement, escorted through border crossings under heavy security. Many had endured weeks or months in captivity, under harsh and uncertain conditions. Their arrival at Reim wasn't just the end of a journey. It was the beginning of reclaiming normalcy, the sound of loved ones, the feel of open air, the warmth of safety. 5:30-6:30. Voices from families and the nation. Across Israel, communities lit candles, waved flags, and sang songs of gratitude.
We prayed every night. Today God heard us.
News outlets across the world broadcast these reunions live, a rare sight of unity and human connection in the middle of a region torn by conflict. It was more than news. It was history unfolding in real time. 6:37-30. International reaction. World leaders from the US, France, the UK, and beyond expressed joy and relief.
The United Nations called the release a vital step toward restoring humanity amid chaos.
But all agreed, more must be done. Many hostages remain, and families continue to wait. Still, today offered a rare glimpse of peace, even if only for a moment. 7:38-30. Looking ahead, the path forward. Israeli officials have pledged to continue negotiations for the safe return of every last hostage. Psychological and medical care is being provided immediately for all those freed, as the nation rallies to support them in rebuilding their lives. For the families, the hardest part is over, but the process of healing has only just begun. And for Israel, today marks a moment to pause, to breathe, and to remember what unity truly means. 8:30-9. Closing thoughts. As the night falls over Reim, the floodlights fade and silence returns to the base, a silence filled with gratitude. Freedom has a face again. If this moment moved you as much as it did us, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this video to spread hope, faith, and humanity. And don't forget to comment below. What does freedom mean